All right, hello everybody. It is Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. My name is Albert, and you are here for Job Search Chess, how tech workers can win more interviews in 2026. We are now planning for the new year, and while I could say 2025 as well, I want to give everyone just the vision and thought that even though we are still a month and a half from the new year, that it is never too late to start preparing. My name is Albert once again, and I'm the founder of Albert's List. We are a job search, side hustle, and AI education company located in the San Francisco Bay Area and serving professionals like you beyond the Bay Area so that you can be the most resilient and tough job seeker and professional that you can possibly be. So with me today is Nader Mowlaee, founder of Engineer Your Mission. He's one of the best people I know in the business and has been coaching engineers and beyond for many years with his recruiting background. And he fuses it with AI to help make it happen as well. He's got a really great presentation for you lined up, and I'm excited to have him share what he's learned and what he expects that's going to happen for here in the next year ahead when it comes to landing that coveted tech interview that so many of you are fighting for right now. All right, Nader, over to you.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Albert, as always, having me here and giving me the opportunity to present to your audience. Um, just wanted to make sure for last time you guys can hear and see me well. I see a lot of messages in the chat. Hopefully my audio's doing well. I should be using this good microphone. So I know audio is really important, right? If we sound like like I don't want to sound like a vampire. Okay, cool. Thank you, Nader. There are two Naders here, so it's a special occasion here. That's really cool, man. So, first and foremost, again, welcome everyone for being here. Thank you for engaging in the chat. For those who haven't connected with me yet, if you scroll all the way up to the top of the chat window, I put there my LinkedIn profile URL. Please do connect with me because, as always, I get a ton of questions after this presentation. Well, we get a lot of questions here, which we won't be able to answer all, but I always do my absolute best to answer them after the presentation is done. So please do connect with me and message me on LinkedIn because LinkedIn, not sure if you're familiar with the voice message or the audio message version of LinkedIn. If you have the app on your phone, you can send me audio messages and I can respond to you with audio messages on the LinkedIn app, which is a lot more effective and efficient in terms of use of time for me to coach you, guide you, or at least give you in the right direction. Cool. Now, with that said, why should you even pay attention to me? In a nutshell, I know we have a engineering technology crowd here. I'm an electrical electronics engineer, specialized in robotics and embedded software programming. Graduated, built an award-winning robotic arm in the medical device field, primarily in the physiotherapy, chiropractic applications. So I did really well, but I graduated right into the 2008 financial crash. And, I actually posted about that today. I don't know if you guys, those who have connected with me already, they saw my post where I shared an 8 month journey of looking for an engineering job. I really wanted to be a, robotic designer, robotic programming, automation engineer, working manufacturing in automotive, aerospace sector. I grew up in a family of engineers. It's literally in my blood, right? But yeah, I'm 8 months into it. I didn't get, I had a few interviews, but I didn't get a job offer in my field. I was going for a job around 30 bucks an hour. Well, that didn't happen. So I left. I had my dreams crushed, right? Parents disappointed. My dad didn't want to talk to me. Long story short, took my first job in the telecommunications sector, answering phone calls, helping people troubleshoot their phone at $14.90 an hour, less than half of what I was promised out of school. And that's how my journey started in tech. Couple of years in telecommunications, changed into a technical sales account manager role within the IT field, where I excelled. Again, I always excelled quickly, became a lead account manager, got promoted. I was working towards becoming a solutions architect, but that also didn't resonate with me because I really wanted to become an engineer. So in 2012, in 2010, I went to a company, a top recruiting firm, Randstad, which you guys should be familiar with, second largest global staffing firm. I wanted to get them to find a job for me, but they ended up offering me a job to become a recruiter, become an engineer recruiter. And I took that job totally by chance. I don't, out of just, I had no other options. Just hated the job that I was in, wanted something better. I became an engineering recruiter, and in 2 years, the top engineering recruiter in Central and Eastern Canada at Randstad's engineering division among 200 recruiters. Longer story short, I left and started my own company a few months after. From 2012 till 2020, I continued recruiting, built a business in Canada, had an office, 4 employees. I got married in 2014, went to the US, moved down south, built a business out of Los Angeles, expanded through Southern California, San Diego, and LA area. So a lot of automation, aerospace, robotics, defense, life sciences, pharma, medical devices, and then grew up to the Bay Area up until the good old COVID happened. And when COVID happened, I was already established as a coach in the Bay Area and I was doing really well. I stopped recruiting and I started actively coaching professionals like yourself. So since then, I've coached over 1,200, 1,200 tech professionals. I've received over 200 testimonials and recommendations on LinkedIn. I love what I do. Probably one of the biggest nerds you can ever come across. I know technology. I know a bit about everything out there. I'm not an expert in one area, but chances are, whatever you do, I can talk to you. I can shoot the shit, and I can talk the talk. And that's after 15 years, 10 years of recruiting, 15 years of coaching within engineering and technology. So all that is to tell you that you're in the right place, at least biasedly speaking, you're speaking with the right person, someone who has helped people like you overcome some of the most challenging job search challenges in the market. A few different countries I've worked in, coached people in Canada, US, Mexico, India, New Zealand, Australia, UK, Germany. Patterns are always the same. People are the same. Companies are the same. Hiring patterns are the same. Human psychology is the same. Regardless of where you are, which state, there is no difference. You need to go from where you are to where you want to be. You need to demonstrate value. You need to prove to people that you can solve their problem, gain business outcomes for them, the results they want. That's how value is defined, and that's how your worth. That's how your worth is evaluated, and you're willing to get paid for it, right? So you need to get people to get to know you, like you, and trust you. And what I'm going to share with you today is just a different, better, shorter, faster, and more effective way to transition from one job if you're currently working to the next job if you're not currently working, from where you are to that next ideal job, following a roadmap that defines your ideal career criteria. Cool. Now, with that said, sorry for the long intro, but I believe that is important. First and foremost, for you guys to understand that when you go to an interview, you need to be able to pitch yourself. You need to be able to brag about yourself. You need to sound like you're talking shit, basically. Like if you're not uncomfortable, if you're not like if there's not a little bit of sweat sitting on your skin, okay, you're selling yourself short, you know? Uh, 15 years into it, I still get nervous when I want to present. So it's not a matter of feeling so comfortable. It still feels uncomfortable, but it is literally the feeling of discomfort that is the sign that you're doing it right. Today, every day when I do interview practices, I tell this to people that, hey, if you sound just like way too comfortable, you're selling yourself short. And the response is like, oh, I don't want to brag. I don't want to. That's like that's literally what you have to do. You're going there pretending, at least, to be the top candidate, demanding that you should be hired over everybody else. Of course, you need to brag about yourself. Of course, you need to go above and beyond. You need to sell your skills and convince them that you're the best candidate. I always tell this is an Olympic sport. You need to take home the gold medal. If you don't sound like Muhammad Ali, if you don't sound like Conor McGregor, you're not a champion. You're not a gold medalist. Cool. And nobody remembers the silver medalist. We remember Michael Phelps, but not the other dude that got beat by zero point 0.2 seconds. Cool. All right. Anyways, we have a lot of comments in the chat. I've been scanning through them. I won't read them right now, but as you see, it's already 15 minutes in. And then we're gonna go through it. I don't want you to wait any longer, right? It's this. I don't want the rest of this presentation to be about me. I think we've done enough to set a foundation. The rest is about you, and I want to educate you. These talks are recorded, but feel comfortable to take notes. And just keep in mind that whatever you're going to see here, you're going to get a copy of it. So if you want to just sit back and relax, sip on your water or your margarita, whatever it is, just sit back and relax and focus because I got a lot to go through. Now, with that said, let me share my screen. Okay, let me know. Okay, we should be up. So this is the presentation you're attending today, how tech workers can win more interviews in 2026. We named it Job Search Chess. I grew up playing chess. Job search is just like chess. It's very systematic and strategic, hence the branding that you see around me, my business, my work. And that defines the way I approach everything from coaching to recruiting, how I did it to supporting you on your journey. Now, one thing I always like to highlight as well is what you're about to go through is a $300 coaching program that I sell every week. You're just getting it for free right now, so just that's it. That's just so you know at least the value of what you're getting in dollars. Today, we're going to help identify your ideal employers, find the key decision makers, and give you a process and specific steps to connect with those individuals, those decision makers with personalized messages. Because if you're not finding the right person in the right company and you're not communicating with them clearly, confidently, effectively, persuasively, there's absolutely no way they're going to take you seriously. And what you're going to literally learn today, it goes beyond targeting or networking. It really is going to help you become a better communicator. Cool. So that's literally what you're getting for free. Keep that in mind. And this is the link to my consultation. You will have access to this later because I have a special offer for everybody who attends and sticks to the end of the presentation. It's $1,000 off my coaching program. You do have to wait till the end so I can tell you how you qualify for it. Cool. Not these two programs. This one you're getting for free. This is your personal brand development project. It is $1,000 project. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm referring to the job search system that you do qualify for $1,000 off if you stick to the end and see how you can get that discount. With that said, I did tell you to connect with me on LinkedIn. I have my LinkedIn URL in the chat box. If this should be only one Nader Mowlaee on LinkedIn. There is. If you can't find the URL, look for me. Best way to learn more about what my coaching entails, or what is it even worth it to look into the job search system? Look at the people who have gone through it. Nearly 200 people have gone through that. Well, over 600 people have gone through that program. I've coached over 1,200 people, but a couple of hundred people have recommended me on LinkedIn. There are more video testimonials up here, more five-star reviews on my service page. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of people who have gone through my programs. Look at their profiles. Look at the sample of the work that I've done and the transformations that they have experienced. Now, with that said, before I got come to this presentation, I did this for the first time this presentation, right? So I was prepping as I always do. I said, you know what? Let me just have a quick chat with Gemini and say, hey, you know what, Gemini? I have a presentation coming up, and Gemini knows me, like it has information about me. There's a history there. I have another presentation coming up teaching people how to look for work in 2026. Give me 10, statistically backed, data backed facts about the job market. So that's kind of like a conversation starter, icebreaker kind of thing, right? So here's what Gemini told me, and it's actually a good way to provide you more context, especially not coming from me, because obviously I'm biased. Um, just so you see what are the actual top 10 facts about the job market. Not just 2026, this year, it's always been like this. Last 15 years, nothing has really changed. It's only got worse, right? Let's go through these together. I'm gonna back it up with some insights so you understand what is it. You understand the value of the training you're about to go through today, and you will take it more seriously this way. That's honestly my goal here is to make sure you actually put into use what you're about to get today because we've got lots of success stories. I literally yesterday, Corbra, I don't know if Corbra is here or not. Let us know if you're here. I did ask her to come and join because she hasn't got that program yet. She only worked with me on the personal brand development package. I wrote a resume, cover letter, LinkedIn for her, and she's got 5 interviews over the last 2 weeks just by developing her LinkedIn and resume. But I was helping. Hey, I either get a $300 program or just wait a couple of days. Come to this training for free. Because you need to improve your outreach. You need to get out there because networking is extremely important. It gives you control back of your career, and you go to companies and interview with people that you have determined, like you have picked, right? And this is what that information backs up because I do also know that when we don't pay for a program, when we people don't use stuff they didn't pay for, right? I don't use the stuff I don't pay for, right? So again, my goal is here to give you some more insights backed by Gemini, world's most advanced intelligence, just to light that fire underneath you and say, you know what? Yeah, I mean, regardless of whom I'm getting this training from, this information from, I really need to use it for me, Consider yourself lucky you saved $300, but this is why you should use this program and implement it. There are 10 reasons I want to give you. First and foremost, the black hole that everyone talks about is real. Relying on cold applications to company websites has very, very, very low success rate of Gemini says 2 to 5%. I've seen it as low as half a percent, 1%, right? 2 to 5% is pretty generous, but hey, 2 to 5% is terrible. You are always facing a crowd. The average corporate job posting receives 250 resumes. That number is like from pre-COVID, right? So Gemini needs to, if you're listening, you need to update your data. That number is way higher right now, but let's just be nice and kind and not too alarmist and just go with 250 applications per job posting. Now, the funnel is tight, and I'm going to teach you what that funnel means, what the recruitment funnel or recruitment process looks like. But out of those 250, only about 4 to 6 people get a call for an interview. Like, do the math. That's just sad, right? Now, realistically, the number is over 500 bigger companies. If we're talking about Google's or the Fangs of the world, yeah, that number's over 1,000. And you're getting, yeah, 3 to 5 people interview for each role. All right. So again, it's extremely competitive. It's very tight race. And the hidden job market is real as well. Not sure if you guys have heard of the hidden job market. There's 66 of us here. I hope you have. If you haven't, well, I'm glad we are talking about it right now because over 80% of jobs will never be publicly advertised. Most of them are filled internally through confidential searches or through referrals. And I'm going to give you, I'm actually going to show you that right now because I have it open. And the reason why I'm showing it to you this way is to see like it's not something I came up with. I just went to Google, typed in hidden job market, went to Google Images. You can see like tons of posts and articles and stuff around the hidden job market. Basically, from the 20-25% of jobs that get posted, remaining are hidden. From those remaining jobs, let's just go with these numbers here. 45% are filled through networking, which results into referrals. 15%, yeah, 10-15% are have consistently been through internal hires, internal transfers. And when I mentioned confidential searches or hidden searches, that's where headhunters come in. So from the 10 years that I worked in recruiting, the last 4 years I was headhunting. I would go to this one company, I would say, "Hey, nice to meet you, hiring manager at Medtronic, Medtronic in San Diego. Who do you want? Like, tell me who do you want from which company?" Like, I would get name of 3 companies. I want someone either from Massimo or Stryker or Abbott. Like, that's it. Or, they do what we do. We want these people. Like that. They would literally sometimes they would give me their names, right? Give me someone from this team or that team at this company, that company. So that's a fully confidential search. They would hire a third-party recruiter to go and persuade and recruit that person. That person often isn't looking for work, so you have to really spend 1, 2, 3 months persuade and headhunt them, right? So that's what headhunting really means. It's not the regular recruiting or staffing that you talk about, right? That would be a complete confidential search. So it would never hit the public job market. You would never know about it. It's absolutely real. You guys need to take it seriously. Now, how jobs are actually filled, we just talked about it. 85% of positions are filled through networking. So add up all these numbers, right? 45, 15, and 15. Major, major number of jobs are filled through networking or referral or human to human contact, human to human connection. That's what's extremely important here. Now, referrals are the fast pass. The fastest way to get hired, the most effective way is to get a referral. Yeah, it takes a bit of effort, but that's why it works, right? It's kind of like crazy, right? We live in a world that if you put more effort in, shit starts working out, get more results. How crazy that is, right? I'm being sarcastic. It's not crazy at all. It's welcome to Earth. So again, while employee referrals may only make up 7% of all applications, they account for massive 40% of our hires. Uh, Again, 7% is pretty high. So this is basically telling us that only 7% of people network. It's kind of like less than that, actually. Like the batch of data that I use, I have it up here. So again, this is what I share. So this is my networking campaign. You see, I have my invitation messages, I have my introduction messages, and then in the third message, I share some information with people I reach out to on LinkedIn. So this is a batch of 13 million applications that were submitted. This is 1 year's worth of data. If you look at, and I can send you guys this, just message me on LinkedIn because I don't want to send you my templates, but I can just personally DM you this photo. Just message me on LinkedIn. If you look at the majority, is about 12 million of the 13 million of applications were submitted through job boards and companies' career websites. So if you do the math, you see it's less than half a percent, less than 1% effectiveness. If you look at the percentage of how much of the applications, 85% of people were doing that for half a percent success rate. How terrible that is, right? So I share this data because, again, being an engineer, coming from a tech background, I look at statistics, data, and pattern recognition is something I'm really good at. So taking a look at referrals, come and look at, how many people actually contact internal recruiters, how many people reach out to hiring managers directly. 0.14% of people contacted hiring managers directly. But that naturally means that competition is extremely low when you contact the hiring manager directly. That's why I put it number one. The number one target when I coach someone to network for job searching is like we contact hiring managers directly. That's not even a referral. You're just going to the source. You're going to the hiring managers. Nearly 20% of people, 20% success rate. So we match that up with a 6.6% success rate of contacting internal recruiters, 5+% sharing content, building a presence on LinkedIn, sharing valuable content, match that up, add that up to 4.66% success rate of getting a referral from a peer. You can see that we're about 35, 40% success rate. And all those jobs, all those opportunities are hidden. We either have to contact a peer or a recruiter or a hiring manager directly, or build a presence online on LinkedIn by sharing valuable content. So I hope I'm not confusing you because I know I'm sprinting through this stuff and I'm showing you a bunch of different things. But I just want you to guys to have context, So this is the first time I'm giving this level of detail. In the previous presentations, I did not. Trust me, I just went right into the presentation and people still loved it. People still used it and they got results and I got thank you messages. We're half an hour in and I haven't even started the presentation. I hope you're getting value from it. I hope I'm not boring you, but this is extremely important to have context. I still have to show you one more thing. I still want to show you what a recruitment funnel is. How is recruiting done anyways? Like, what do recruiters even do? What is their job about? And if you're thinking, I don't care what recruiters do, you're making a big mistake. If you're wondering what a mechanic does, how to, what they go through to change the oil on your car, well, then you're gonna comprehend what it takes, why it costs a certain amount of money. You begin to appreciate more of who they are and what they do. And on top of that, you might actually learn to do their job yourself. Which is kind of like my goal here. I've over 10 years, I've taught people takes time, right? And hopefully I'm not boring you here, but I believe the context is important. Takes time to learn what a recruiter does because but as soon as you do, you start to follow the same path. You start to realize that like, oh my God, If this is the first thing they do, then I want to go to do that. That should be the first thing I do. If this is the second thing they do, of course I want to do that as a second thing. I shouldn't just jump to third step. I should follow the same footsteps of a recruiter. So we're on the same path. Cool. So you're about to learn that today, but let me go through this list. The number one recruitment platform is LinkedIn. I don't need to explain that anymore. Recruiters live on LinkedIn with over 90% of them actively using LinkedIn to find and vet, to find and qualify, to find and monitor potential candidates, to watch you for a while before they contact you. That's very important. That's why I'm saying it 3 times. Vetting a candidate extremely important. The passive majority, so over 70% of the global workforce are not actively looking for work. So just keep that in mind. You want to be at least appearing as a passive candidate because that's the high value candidate. If you're currently unemployed, do not advertise it. Do not put the open to work banner. Do not post every week that I'm looking for work. Get rid of that desperate conversations, you know? Don't come across as desperate. You want to come across as standing tall. I know what my value is, even if I'm not currently employed. I know my worth, and I'm only interested in those who value and believe in me, value my skills, and believe in what I can bring to the table. That should be your brand. That should be how you're positioning yourself. Cool. Anyways, long story short, this is also very important. Again, sorry for taking so long, but it's just so important for you guys to have this context. This is the stuff that I teach in one-on-one coaching sessions over multiple sessions, and I decided that, you know what, let me just go above and beyond. Let me share everything that I have to share. And here, thanks to Gemini, I made a short list of it here, right? These facts have always been the same. None of that stuff changes. But check this out. If a referred candidate has significantly higher chance of being hired, which is 1 in 3, compared to a candidate from a job board, which is 1 in 14. Wouldn't you rather have a chance of 1 in 3 of winning something than in 1 of 14? Think about that, right? All right. With that said, I promise to show you, at least you can show you what a recruitment funnel is, or a recruitment process is, because I know it will allow you to better understand the journey the recruiter, the employer goes on in order to identify, attract, engage, convert, nature, interview, hire. Like if you understand that standard operating procedure, you will be able to naturally align yourself with that SOP without really needing someone like me like to help you. A lot of the stuff is pretty straightforward, especially if this is completely new to you. Do a little bit of research, watch a couple of videos on it, understand it, and then you realize that, okay, I'm literally, by just going online and applying online, I'm cutting half the process. It's like watching a movie from an hour in. It's a 2-hour movie. You're just gonna play it from hour one. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna watch the end. Yeah, it's not gonna work out for you. You're not gonna have fun. It's not gonna be a good movie. You know. So this is, again, there's a lot of different models. They're all the same. They all go from top to bottom. I'm just Googling it, going to Google Images. I clicked on whatever you want to click on. The first and foremost, the most important, the first thing that employers do, recruiters do, is to attract you. They attract you by putting stuff on their website. They attract you. Number one place to attract you is their social media, is their LinkedIn page, is the page on different platforms, which is why when we go to LinkedIn and we post content ourselves, we like on their posts, we religiously comment on company posts. It's a way for us to show them, demonstrate to them, hey, I noticed you, I know you put that thing for me on LinkedIn. I like it. I'm a fan. I'm a follower. Yay. Let's hang out. I'm supportive of you, celebrating your success. We want to hang out. Like that. That's what it's for. You need to engage. Engagement is extremely important at the top of the funnel. This is when they get to notice you, become interested in you, and kind of like watch you. It's like, okay, are you just gonna post that one time, or consistently 3 times a week for the next 4 weeks? Are you just gonna comment on that one post that we had, or you're gonna comment on 3 posts every day for the next 2 weeks? Like, how dedicated are you? How committed are you? Are you just saying that you like us, or you truly like us? Uh, Attract or awareness. These are different stages, potential just identifying who you are and what you do. There's different names for it, but at the top of it is just getting to know you. They want to put stuff out there to attract you to their brand, to who they are. Then they begin to engage back with you. Then they like and reply to your comments. Then they message you. So if you're wondering why are recruiters not contacting you on LinkedIn, well, it's because you're not engaging. Like you're not doing it with them, you know? Like I teach this every day, commenting, liking, posting. Most important thing for visibility on LinkedIn to grab the attention of recruiters, you got to comment on their posts. Posts that they put out there, more importantly, posts that their company put out there. There's always this hesitation. Oh, I don't want my employer to find out, or yeah, commenting is hard, it's difficult, I don't know what to say. Well, guess what? I'm coaching you to learn what to say, but you got to go and do it. You know, if any of you are not engaging with company posts, you're making a massive mistake. That's the biggest mistake. First step, not completed, you're not going to go to the second one. Then you can engage with them. Best type of engagement is the outreach that you're about to learn today, is the networking. And then you begin to convert. So what you really want is to convert to an interview. I know everybody wants an interview and everybody wants to get a job offer, which is the last step. But for you to get an interview, they need to get to know you. You need to attract them. They need to attract you, the music playing in the background, lady in red, like the whole thing, the attraction has to be in there, right? And then you begin to go into conversation, that DM, and then they slide into your DMs, you know? Do that. So easy to do that. Then it converts into interview decisions and hiring decisions. Okay, I'm gonna move on because I know I don't see Albert, but he's like, "Come on, Nader, I can hear him." Just get to the program, get to the presentation. All right, I'm gonna close this stuff later on. I can send it to you guys, but let's go through the training. It's a lot of fun. I'm gonna go through it. Everybody gets a copy of this Google Doc, so just sit back and relax. Some of you guys might just have had your mind blown if the stuff I was sharing with you today was brand new to you. Hopefully it wasn't. Hopefully it was just a confirmation of what you already knew, which solidifies the decision. You're kind of happy to have shown up here. We have 67 of us still here, about to go through this training. Uh, and let's jump right in, right? These are the only three moves you need to make to win more interviews this year, next year, forever. It's always been the same. The main difference right now, since 2 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, is the introduction of artificial intelligence, large language models, ChatGPT, and Gemini, and platforms like this that are nothing but job search partners, and that's a great thing. They're there, they're accelerating the process for you. Don't ever use them to automate it. It's a small world. You don't want to ruin your reputation or make big mistakes, but accelerate it, support the journey, confirm your choices, get it to coach you. Which brings me to the saying I always say, soon you won't need a career coach no more. Those who have attended this presentation before, have talked to me before, knows this. Albert definitely knows this, that, after 15 years of coaching, I'm on the path of hopefully not fully closing my coaching business, but in the next 5 years, dissolving it. I don't think anyone wants to buy it because, like, I don't really have any intellectual property. I mean, IP doesn't really mean anything in the world of AI, but kind of like in the next 5 years, I give away everything that that I've created the last 15 years, now 15 to 20 years, and just go and buy a little farm and have chickens and, raise goats or something, right? Ride horses, hopefully by that time I have money to buy a horse, right? So soon you will not. I mean, even today, honestly, quite honest with you, like I don't want to. Like again, speaking out loud, even today, you don't really need a career coach. Although I'm a career coach and I love what I do, I spend a lot of time in teaching strategy, teaching mindset, teaching communication, practicing conversation, practicing interview performance. So I think that I can always do. But when it comes to like process planning, identifying which companies are right for you, which who to reach out to, what do I say to them, resume writing, LinkedIn, cover letter, all that stuff. You don't need a career coach no more. Half of that stuff I'm about to show you today with this three-step process, it's all fully done by AI. I truly believe, 2 years ago, I started believing that soon people will not need a career coach no more. So either I get with the program and start using AI and start teaching people to use AI as their coach, and I gotta do it the right way, or I should change my job. Well, for 3 months, I was like depressed and took 3 months off and realized that, you know what? Yeah, there's no point of being depressed. I just need to start getting the training, getting myself up to date, and building systems like this, workflows and frameworks like this that allows people to allows me to upload everything I have into this framework, give it to anybody, and that anyone can get AI to become their coach. And this is why, these multi-step frameworks and prompts allow you to educate ChatGPT or educate Gemini or Claude or whoever your AI is, DeepSeek, whatever, to guide you on this process, to coach you on this process. Otherwise, yeah, you can just go to, LinkedIn and type in, top 10 software development companies in San Francisco. Like you can do this stuff and this is cool, but I mean, these days, I mean, Gemini pops open and it's like, oh, hello, just use me. Traditionally, we used to do searches like this, go on and try to find what the top companies are because I want to work for top companies. But, we're past that point. Nobody really Googles stuff anymore. We talk, we have these in-depth conversations with an AI, with the world's most smartest intelligence system. I just want to give you a framework that guarantees that you're going to get the right results, and it's a process. This is where I want to go. These are the people that I want to talk to. Tell me what I should talk to them about. So it's a reverse process, it's a reverse engineered process. Cool. All right. 42 minutes in, and we're about to start. I hope you guys are getting value from this. Again, first time I'm going to this level of depth. This normally, again, I'm talking as fast as I possibly can, but this is the stuff that I normally speak like nice and slow, in multiple one-on-one sessions. I didn't even teach this level of detail in when I teach this, like that $300 course. It's within an hour. I sit down, I do it, I ask questions, I run the prompts, I give it to you, I'm like, goodbye. Like that's $300 an hour. I do not get the time. I clearly don't have the time to go through this level of detail when I coach someone one-on-one. But again, we have 67 beautiful souls here, and again, I try to make you guys as happy as I possibly can. As not happiness is not the right word to say. As effective. I want more success stories. Every time we run this, I get people getting back to me. It's like, I got interviews, I got an offer. Da, 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 da. It's like, oh, that's so cool. I'm not surprised, but yay. You know what I mean? So I just want more success stories this time. Anyways, let me just move on because obviously I can talk about this stuff all day. I don't want to get too distracted with the side conversations, although they are still important. So, anyways, welcome. I don't think I need to explain to you why I built this system. I think I just demonstrated it, right? 15 years of doing this, 1,200 clients, over 200 testimonials you can check out. Today, I have my ChatGPT account up. Especially, I want to share with you guys what custom instructions to use and how to set up your account. So it fully personalizes it. I want to guide you guys maybe something around the memory stuff. If we have time, Albert, don't worry, don't freak out, if we have time. But if not, just after this conversation, right? After this conversation on LinkedIn, I can help you guys with custom instructions, setting it up, kind of like programming your AI to know who you are, so it treats you the way it should. Cool. Um, Use ChatGPT, 5, Gemini, whoever you want. This whole process it's not going to take more than 20 minutes. It would take a career coach like me an hour. You going through the prompting system, it's just so fast, right? Put it on the audio mode, answer its questions. It does the search for you fast enough. The first part's finding your top 10 best fit employers. That might take 10 minutes, but making a list of who the hiring managers are, 5 minutes is plenty. It doesn't take that long. Three message sequence, so invitation message, introduction message, and follow up, right? At the shortest campaign ever, the shortest series of messages would have three messages in it. I like to go to five. I mean, if you guys want to know what message four and message five is, DM me on LinkedIn. I'll comfortably tell you what message four and five is. But let me show you at least how to build the foundation. This is more than the foundation. Invitation, introduction, follow up one, and then follow up two, follow up three. They're different. They're more advanced. I can tell you guys in the DMs. But yeah, in 20 minutes, you can knock all of this out. Short case study here. Spencer was someone who attended the first time I launched this program, attended and got two interviews and one offer within 2 weeks. It's not that mind shattering anymore because this is not the average result. This is actually a pretty good result. But within a month, people get job interviews and offers and they move on. And this is from January. There's so many more testimonials on my profile, recent ones. We had two or three offers last month in October, so you can go and check those out too. Anyways, this is so funny. Mark Twain said, "The secret to getting ahead is getting started." So let's begin. I should take a few notes from Mark Twain and just get this training started. All right, guys, move number one is to identify and target your ideal employer. So it's not about job searching, it's about company searching. So I learned this when I was recruiting. It's like as a recruiter, we were not job searching. I wasn't looking for the right job for my candidate. We were looking for the right company for our candidates. And then we figured out we're going to be interviewing the candidates, see what their top skills are, and we're going to match it to the problems that these companies have. If this candidate has the skills that solve this company's problems, da-da-da-da, like that's the marriage made in heaven. That's the job offer waiting to be happened. I just have to coach you and train you for the interview. I'm gonna talk to the employer, to the company, like, hey, this is the person, who do you want? Like, what kind of personality do you want? What's the culture here? So I can bring these two together, match made in heaven, like a matchmaker. That's how hiring is done. That's how recruiting is done. So it doesn't start with the job. Like, we'll figure out what the right job is. We'll create a new job. I don't care. What is your skills? Which company does that skill fit into? Like you have if I'm talking to five different people, those five different people have five different combination of skills. Each and every one of them solve a different set of problems. It's rarely ever a square peg in a square hole, a round peg in a round hole. That's not the world we live in. That's what a lot of you guys are probably, everybody that I talk to, most of them, 90% of them, they're trying to fit themselves, fit their resume in like a mold and go online, look for a job. I want front end, uh, .NET jobs. Like, no, it's not that. Like, don't look for a job first. You'll figure out what they'll figure. It's not even your job to find the right job. It's the employer's job to find the right job, to find the right role for you. Your role, your responsibility as a job seeker is to clearly identify and communicate your top skills, top three, top five. Tell the employers what problems you're good at solving. So the employers that have those problems become attracted, they would want to talk to you. And then in that conversation, during the interview one, two, three, four, five, six, during those conversations, they figure out where you fit. And for those who have had a bunch of interviews, for those who are more senior, if you're like maybe in your 40s or something, you've had a bunch of jobs, and you're probably nodding your head. You're like, oh yeah, like I applied to this job, but they gave me this. I interviewed for this job. They're like, hey, you would be a better fit for this. Like that's how hiring is done. Employers don't just sit down and be like, well, Albert, you applied for the .NET position. We don't have that. It's like it doesn't happen like that. It's like, what can you do? Why do you want to work for us? And let's see if you're culturally a fit. Let's see if our team likes you, and then we'll find the right fit for you. You might not end up using your top skills. You might have to learn a new skill, but yeah, we believe like you're cool. You know what I mean? You're cool. You're adaptable. You're a good fit. You communicate well. You're definitely picking our company for the right reasons. We believe, I trust you. I believe you're going to be here for a long time. I believe that if I invest in you, train you, and develop you, coach you, you're going to be here for a long time. I get my ROI. You're going to be productive. You're going to hit the ground running. Like these. Oh, these are all the other things that they measure, not just the job you originally applied to. So again, hence why I'm explaining this so much, is step number one of the strategy. It sets the sail, sets the direction. Do not go on job boards and search for the job title. The search starts by identifying, building a laser focused list of companies that hire people with your skills. So think of this as your opening strategy. It defines a trade. Cool. Now, that strategy, that's the plan. The process, it's all done by AI. What you're ought to do using this interactive prompt. So normally when I sit down, I would ask you questions. Like, okay, Albert, okay, so tell me about your past. Da, da, da. What do you have done with this project? What did you do this? What did you do that? Like which company is that? Which industry? Which product? Which solution? Which service? How about this? How about that? So rather than doing this, rather than getting a recruiter, rather than getting a coach to do this for you, remember, you don't really need a career coach no more. This is where you instruct, you prompt ChatGPT to act as a career research assistant with these qualifications, expert in analytics, real-time knowledge of funding trends, growth stage companies, niche hiring patterns, skill sets in asking only what matters to recommend high-fit companies, calm, strategic tone design, all these characteristics of the role we are assigning it. Your responsibility is to update your resume or paste your LinkedIn profile URL and respond to the questions that ChatGPT asks you. Because again, interactive, right? So we're instructing it, hey, this is your job, this is my job. I'm gonna give you my resume. If I don't know the answer to your questions, I'm just gonna say, hey, I don't know, and your job is to guide me. And your task is to ask me one question at a time to understand my strongest and most marketable skills, the roles I'm a good target for, the industries, technologies, and the impact areas I care about, the preferred work format, blah, 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 blah. Right? Ask me all the things. And again, ChatGPT 5, it goes above and beyond. This is kind of like we're setting the train, right? It's like this is your task. This is your job, Keep each of these follow-up questions to 15 words because they will keep asking you questions until it's like 95% sure that it knows what your targets are. Then it begins to do the research for you, right? So again, there are some filters, preferred company size, ask me about the industries to avoid. Do I need sponsorship? Do I need a visa? Do I care about this? Do I care about that? And when you're ready, output it in this way, display it for me this way. Give me a 10-row table, list them, tell me what, based on my skills, career goals, today market trends, growth signals. Avoid companies that are laying off or shrinking or freezing. Prioritize companies that are growing, hiring, and recently funded. Align suggestions to my tactical skills, stage and direction. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So it goes above and beyond to gather, inquire about who you are, what you want to do, where you come from, where you're at, where you want to go. And then it starts doing the research and prioritizing the top 10 best fitting companies for you. Now, it does end with a few bonus coaching tips. So, again, having been in this sector for like 15 years now, just over 15 years, I always, I don't know, I give feedback always that people said like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's uncommon. I haven't heard that. So, this is my attempt to encouraging ChatGPT to also give you some uncommon job search insights that most people overlooked. I hope I actually just gave you some, the stuff that I was giving you in the beginning. Those are the insights that it's kind of like uncommon. No one really sits down and talks to you how recruiting is done, you know, like statistics behind the hiring market, the hiring jobs, like things like that. Those are uncommon. They're definitely very high leverage, but if you don't know it, you don't know it. So every time I run this, I get some new insights as well, which is pretty cool. So I still learn from this damn thing. I was like, oh, I forgot about that. That's so cool. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. I've done that. I've done that. Oh no, I haven't done this. What the hell? This must be true. This must be post-COVID, right? So it gives you some insights that you just haven't realized. I just did this for a person who's a senior battery scientist, like a materials engineer, battery scientist, and it started telling me all about this, global materials shortage, and China holds all these battery and magnetic materials, and that's why the price of an electric car in China is like 40% lower. I was like, what? I looked it up. I'm like, all these BYD, the Build Your Dream BYD cars are 40% cheaper. That's why. China owns 90% of the battery processing plants. It's so interesting. It was like, my God, those are the insights that this person, I told them, this guy Ali Rezat. So I told him, you should be talking about this stuff in an interview. Like this is when just a few days ago, weeks ago, when Trump was in China. So it's like, dude, Xi and Trump are talking about this right now. You should talk about this in an interview that's coming up. So, anyways, this still surprises me. There's a lot of gifts that you get out of this conversation, just in order to find your ideal companies. Cool. Anyways, let's move on. Let me take a sip of water. I won't go through these things to watch out for, but just some tips and tricks, things that I've noticed, just for you to understand. So now you have the right targets. You know exactly who the employers are. You can go to their website and you know exactly who they are, right? Now, okay, who do I talk to? Who's the man or woman in charge? That's what we're going after, right? So you want to know exactly who inside each company can hire you so you can position your pieces. You know, we're talking about chess pieces here, like your skills for maximum influence. So ultimately, use this prompt every time you explore a new batch of companies. You can rerun this. You can go back and if you want to run a new batch of companies, find a new batch of companies, answer the questions differently. You get a new batch, and then in a different context window, run the second prompt. Second prompt is just basically a decision maker locator. We're prompting ChatGPT to act as a LinkedIn and organizational chart expert with job search mastery, job market projection, and economic pattern recognition, deep knowledge of how functional organizational structures work across all internal teams, the ability to identify real decision makers using LinkedIn filters, public org patterns, title logic, helpful guide who a helpful guy who avoids assumptions and verifies title alignment with real world structures. This is what a good prompt is, right? You know, I got two prompt engineering certifications. I've done more. They're not certifications, but 3 years ago, well, 2.5 years ago, I got two prompt engineering certifications, and since then I've taken so many courses. It just it teaches you how to speak with AI, how to speak with large language models effectively. You know, a lot of times we assume that, oh, they know what I'm looking for. Just show me the top hiring managers, show me the top hiring managers. 6 words. It's like, no, it's not going to work like that. You need to clearly instruct it. It's like, it's a very smart, dumb kid. I've heard that somewhere. Like, AI is a very smart, dumb kid. Like, if it has all the data, like, it's like this library. I cannot just say like I need to guide it. I need to tell it exactly what I want. So it has all the knowledge, but if you don't clearly instruct it, set all the expectations, guardrails, what to do, what not to do, then it's not going to give you the answers, right? So the first part is so important. Your role as always, I mean, in this case, is to provide an information, right? So paste the table of the top 10 companies that we figured out above in the previous. And then, your job is to again respond to clarifying questions in short answers. If you don't know it, tell it you don't know, and ChatGPT will walk you through it. Do not make stuff up. Just say, hey, dude, I don't know. Guide me, tell me, coach me, you know? Don't try to research anything yourself neither. Like you're literally adopting, getting it to do the work for you. Cool. You don't need a career coach for this stuff if you have these instructions. Because this is a massive prompt, right? So again, your task, ask me simple follow-up questions, identify who the most relevant decision makers are. Here's an example, use LinkedIn people news tabs logics and your org chart knowledge to spot likely managers. I won't read through this. It's pretty straightforward. Read it on your own, but I'm trying to save some time here. But these are the instructions you're giving it. Honestly, you can just close your eyes, copy paste this, drop it into your chat GPT, press enter, and like, oh, cool. It's asking me questions. You just answer the questions. You don't really need to understand this stuff, although it's super easy to understand. You just need to follow it. Follow the instructions it gives you. So optional filters, prefer managers and above, prioritize alumni from my schools and past companies for obvious reasons. Only include contacts from US-based offices. Again, you can change it. If you're looking for jobs in, Kuala Lumpur, okay, Malaysian offices, whatever you want to do. If you're in Australia, Brisbane offices, whatever. Output format, make it look like this. Bonus. These bonuses are so good. So 3 advanced tips to pinpoint real decision makers on LinkedIn, because ultimately you're going to have the title of this person. So this company, and it gives you like 3 titles of hiring managers. You can go to LinkedIn's page in that company, put that title in, and show me this person with this title at this company. Now, oh, this is a hiring manager's LinkedIn profile, and you're ready to message them, which is step number 3. Right. So again, search 1 or 2 levels above. So a manager, if you're an engineer, software development engineer, software development manager is the right manager for you, your future boss, you're going to be reporting to them. But a senior manager, even a head of engineering, like director of engineering, that can also be, someone that's worth it. So just keep that in mind. One smart move, use the past company filter to find ex-employees who held your top titles. So this is also really important. If you've already, again, if you got a few years of experience under your belt, you used to work at certain companies, you can you can use an extra filter called the past company filter and get it to only show you the people, the hiring managers that used to work at one of the companies you used to work at. Like super powerful. Again, this is how recruiting is done, right? So again, I'm giving you guys, again, these are the secrets, like whatever. Again, it's not a secret anymore. But if I'm a manager at this company now, and 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I used to work at like these three different companies and you're messaging me and you're currently working at one of the companies I used to work at, like how powerful is that? Like there's so much familiarity in place. There's so much connection. There's so much trust. It's like, oh yeah, I used to work there. It's like, yeah, I know you used to work there. That's why I messaged you. So there's a common denominator, right? That if you have a common denominator as someone that used to go into the same school with you, now school is really not that important, but especially if it's a not well-known school, but the place of work. If you guys used to work in the same place that they do, massive, massive differentiating factor. Cool. So that's about it. Just go through it. It makes your life so much easier. Answer its questions, and you got a list of, if it's 10 companies, it gives you like three. I'm asking for three. If you want five, just say, hey, just make the 3 to 5. 10 companies, 3 or 5 hiring managers per company. That's 50 people. That's 50 hiring managers, decision makers, perfectly aligned to you. And remember, when I say perfectly aligned, we're not exactly sure, right? We find the right company, we found the right person. The perfect alignment comes with the job that we'll have to figure out. It's their responsibility is to interview you, communicate with you, and figure out where you would fit. So again, we haven't even talked about a job or a role or a title or a position yet. If there was a move 5, that's when in the interview that conversation will be had. But now it's our responsibility to communicate clearly and confidently, start genuine conversations that convert to interviews. It's really all that matters. The first currency I measure is interviews. The second currency I measure is offers. And I call them currencies for a reason. I learned it from one of my coaches, Aaron Fletcher. He has all these currencies. He's like, this is the thing that matters. It's like money. It's the currency. What's your currency? I'm like, job interviews. Like, that's your first currency. Well, it's the second thing that matters. I'm like, people want job offers, man. It's like, oh, job offers. So interviews and offers are the two currencies I measure. If you can get interviews, okay, whatever you did prior to that, the land the interview, it worked. Yay. Now you have to go perform in the interview. Your resume doesn't matter no more. LinkedIn doesn't matter no more. You're in the interview. Stop blaming the resume if you didn't get the job offer. Resume's job is to get to the interview. Your networking strategy, your outreach strategy is responsible for you to get the interview. If you're not going from one round to the other round and then to the offer ever, you drop the ball somewhere in the interview. You either said something that was alarming or you didn't say the right stuff that didn't give them the level of trust they needed. Right? So, anyways, like Doctor Strange would say, we're in the end game now. All right, so keep it steady, keep it going. Let's simplify it, and yeah, simplicity wins. Keep it simple, simple and sweet. The third and last prompt here, last workflow is going to determine your actual messages, so your LinkedIn outreach campaign. It's going to be 3 messages. You can literally increase the number 3 to number 4 with a couple of instructions you can add if you want to go to 4 or 5. I do it different. I do it a little more advanced. So again, DM me on LinkedIn. I don't want to take more time here. I want to, but that would literally add 15 minutes to this presentation. But in order to find your outreach and define and write down your outreach campaign, again, we want to assign a new task. New role is an expert LinkedIn messaging coach with proven copywriting experience that delivers over 25% response rate. I always get questions about this. Why 25%? Why not 100% response rate? Because it's humanly possible. Even 25% is yeah, that would be a good week. My clients, we get normally 15 to 20% response rate. And like we take our hat off, throw it in the air, shirt off sometimes. We have a lot of fun. Like 15 to 20% response rate is amazing. The average is 3 to 5%. Like when we're getting 15 to 25, like 15 to 20, that's like 3, 4, 5x. We reach out to 100 people per week, 20 accept. Dude, now we got to talk to 20 hiring managers this week or next week. We do that for a couple of weeks. Now I'm talking to 40 hiring managers. 5 to 10% want to interview me. That's between 2 to 4 interviews every 2 weeks. Yay, right? So don't think like again, we are saying over 25%. I'm trying to be a little bit pushy with AI, but yeah, it's just not humanly possible to get anything like 100% isn't humanly possible. Unless you have a gun to their head, and that's impossible. Anyway, so I got mastery of casual peer-to-peer tone that respects busy inboxes, a gift for writing curiosity hooks, soft asks, friction-free follow-ups, a focus on value-first networking, not job begging or salesy pitches. So again, the first part of every prompt is the most important part. This is my way of teaching you how to communicate better. I think I even said a little bit earlier, today. I was like don't put the open to work banner on LinkedIn. Most job seekers statistically are passive job seekers. They are currently working or they don't appear desperate. Even if you're not currently working, you shouldn't be yelling on top of rooftops. It's like, oh, I'm looking for work. Again, I'm empathetic about it. Like one of my clients just posted this without asking me. But like, hey, community, hey, LinkedIn family, I'm looking for work. I'm like, dude, I wish you had asked me that. That does not make you look good. It lowers your value. You know, Looking desperate is not a good thing. They know you're gonna say yes to anything, so you become that yes man. Everything's oh yes. Would you do this? Yes. You don't want to be the yes man. Or yes woman. Anyways, your role, as always, is to provide it the list of the companies from the previous prompt, list of the hiring managers from the previous prompt, and provide, clear, quantified, measured, measurements, anything, any list of achievements. As pretty much upload your resume here, and it takes care of it gathers your quantified achievements from your resume, so it knows how to pitch you, how to, what your achievements are, what kind of impact you've made, what your skill sets are. Can your task ask me questions? I'll answer it one on one, one by one. If I don't know it, I'll tell you I don't know. You should guide me. Ultimately, when you're ready, when all the question and everything's done, when you're ready, write 3 short LinkedIn messages for me, each about 300 characters. So short and sweet. Now, the the output format, again, this is a little bit of learning you can pick from it as well. You don't need to read this stuff. You don't need to learn it, but again, I rather you do, so you always want to reach out, send an invitation with that common denominator, right? That shared topic. So open with a connection around a shared trend, issue, topic, somewhere you work together, something you guys both like, something you notice on their profile, something that is shared among us. We both like the same thing, did the same thing, come from the same cloth, whatever. Then you introduce yourself. When you introduce yourself, especially to a hiring manager, you gotta put your best foot forward. So bring up one win, the biggest win, number one biggest career win, biggest impact you made. That's a common interview question, so you want to lead with that. If you move the mount like whatever the mountain was in your career that you moved, you got to lead with that. So bring up the biggest win that connects to their world of work. Obviously, it has to be relevant. If I come here and talk to you about how many swimming awards I've won and how many people I've coached in martial arts, you guys don't care and shouldn't care because it's not relevant to the conversation we're having right now, regardless of whatever, how many years of martial arts experience I have, right? Which I do, but like it's just totally irrelevant. Allows us to build a conversation around, build a conversation. Like in the interview, it helps. If you guys, sometimes they get a question, it's like, what books do you recommend? What is that? Like, oh, Oh, that's my boxing glove, couple of black belts, like Bible, family pictures. Like we talk about that every time I have one-on-one conversations. It's like it's that's why I put it back here. Like you get to know me, you know. But I don't talk about this stuff when I reach out. It's not a common denominator unless I see it. I see someone else. Oh, I see what you do. Then I would pitch it because it connects me to their world. All right. So relevance is extremely important when you introduce yourself. Third and last in this case, you want to follow up. This is kind of like a week later. You introduce yourself, give them a week. If they haven't responded, you want to offer some insights, some valuable resource, and ask if they're seeing relevant opportunities. So it kind of looks like this. Again, it comes up, AI comes up with some fascinating messages around this style. But hey, I'm exploring teams pushing machine learning, large language model, front end development, X, Y, and Z, battery engineering forward, do you see any opportunities on your radar? You know, Again, this is just a sample. It rarely ever uses this. It just comes up with better. There's so much context at this point around the messages it's gonna write that it does an extremely good job at it, right? I guess I kind of like put this here just for the person who's reading the prompt can better understand, and just so many other examples. Just peer-to-peer tone, no hype, no begging. No, don't attach a resume to it, please. No long intros, no long questions. Don't ask if they know of someone. No hope you're well. Kind of no cliches. Just keep it lean, warm, authentic, confident. This is what, makes the second introduction extremely important. If you're reaching out, you're ultimately want this person to hire you, or you're reaching out to someone that you perceive as a hiring manager, someone that's going to be coaching you, mentoring you, guiding you, signing the bottom of your offer letter, like position yourself as his top or her top employee, his or her top teammate, team member. Best foot forward. Cool. We're pretty much there, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. We still have 66 people here, so I thank you so much. I appreciate you hanging on. So again, bonus coaching value here. Again, always ending with, you know, more guidance, more tips, more support around what to do, what not to do. These are just examples, open loops with curiosity. So sense of, anytime you can create a sense of curiosity in someone, it increases the response rate on your message. So normally I would say, if you can tell them why you picked their company and what problems you can solve for them without telling them how you're going to solve those problems, it's going to pique their curiosity. Like, okay, well, you clearly picked the thing about our company that's really impactful. That's why you like our company. You've done your research. You know what our problems are. You're telling me that the top three problems that you can solve for me are X, Y, and Z. I want to talk to you. Like, you know what I mean? You're coming across differently. Like, thanks for doing your research and figuring out who we are, what we do, who our customers are, and what our customers' problems are. I'm curious if you'd be open to having a conversation around that. Again, it's sharing, it's telling things that are persuasive. I think that's what makes it persuasive. Creates a sense of curiosity. Uh, or ask good questions. Never ask for a favor, uh, but ask better questions. Cool. Always focus on them first. Not your resume. They always come first, right? Couple of things I always pull books here. So this is a book I always recommend. This book was written by Dr. Robert Cialdini. It's called Influence. It was published in 1984 when I was born. So this is a 41-year-old book. As a recruiter, we used to like study this book. We need to present this book that talks about the top six. There's only six principles of influence. So it's the psychology of persuasion. It's a big book. You can watch a few videos on it. Over 5 million copies sold. But this is a book that allows you to communicate more persuasively and influence really anyone through those six different principles. Another book that I always recommend is this one, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So again, this is like a 80, 90-year-old book. This is a much older book by Dale Carnegie. Pretty sure you guys have heard of this one. And this one's falling apart. This is an old copy I have. Again, I've studied and implemented these books in my decade of work in recruiting and in coaching. And I still pull them out, once in a while. That's why I knew where they were. This one has 15 million copies sold. Just because it makes a big impact. I mean, if you guys want to go above and beyond and just be better communicators, be better public speakers. Now, public speaking doesn't have to be done publicly. It can be also done privately in an interview room, in a Zoom chat room, one-on-one. But how to influence people just allows you to get into companies, but also stay there, becoming better managers, better colleagues, better peers. So just keep that in mind. Last but not least, I did share this link with you guys before, showed you that this program that you just went through, in the last hour and bit, is my job search blueprint package. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Pretty much we're at the end of it. This is where I want to show you how you can qualify for getting $1,000 off if you choose to join the job search system, going through the entire coaching program with me. My coaching program is unlimited. It's all inclusive. It doesn't expire. When you join the job search system, you have a career coach for life. I'm one of the few people that offers a program like this, has been doing it for the last 5 years in this style. I still have people coming in from 5 years ago joining me. And it's just fascinating. Like they don't pay anything. They're just part of the same program. They joined once. They're there. Uh, and it's just fascinating to be able to build those relationships over the last 5 years. And like I have clients who joined once and now I've helped them change jobs like 3 times. It's pretty cool. Puts a smile on my face. But if you wanted to explore what this program's about, I put together an overview of it on this page, and I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to drop the link to this page, to this Google Doc in chat in a second. But take a look at the overview. These are basically 9 programs, 9 packages all put together to make it the job search system. Job search blueprint. This is one of those 9. The personal brand development is one of those 9. So there are 7 different components or parts of that system that put together makes it the job search system, helping you checkmate your next career move. So with that said, if you want to qualify for this $1,000 discount, first and foremost, you do have to book a career fast track call with me. And basically your name needs to be among the 62 people that are still here. Basically if your name is on the main registry, you qualify for it. I never cut people off. It's like, oh no, you left. 4 people left in the last 15 minutes. You lose. It's like, no, I don't do that, right? I really wanted to get you guys to stay towards the end so you can see what the offer is, and what I can provide you here for the end, see the ending, right? So this is an overview. We can definitely go through it. I offer pretty much like 2 consultations for free. The first one is totally about you, just to get to know you better, see who you are, what you do. If it's a good fit, then we'll set up another conversation to go through the job search system program, take a look at all 9 components. And if you like it, your name's on this list, you attended the presentation, you get $1,000 off. So with that said, I'm just gonna drop the link to this Google Doc in chat. One thing you can do, if you want to start making changes on it, because you're not allowed to make changes directly on this, just go to File and make a copy. That's all you have to do. I never changed the link, so this link it can always come back to the original. If you notice, we're on version 3, and I'm planning on version 4 in 2026. So you will continuously have access to the upgraded versions of this. Uh, and a little secret, well, not a secret, I'm going to tell you this. I'm actually going to start building on this, right? To new programs and stuff. I'm just going to keep it so everybody who has attended this program, this training through Albert over the last year that I've been giving out the exact Google Doc will have access to the new trainings as well. So again, this is my way of going above and beyond and increasing the lifetime value that I offer my clients. So keep the link the same, it will never change. But if you want to make changes on it, basically run your prompts and add your company list and target hiring manager names and stuff. Just go to File and make a copy. And yeah, my calendar link is already there, so you can book a call. And we want to do some QAs. We always do like maybe 10 more minutes of QA. So if you guys want these custom instructions that I have in ChatGPT or how to set up the back end, just DM me on LinkedIn. Like I rather than taking more time here, just DM me on LinkedIn. I'll drop the link to my LinkedIn profile one more time. So if you guys haven't connected with me yet, before you leave for the day, give it a quick click. There it is. Yeah,
We have a
network
lot of
with each
questions
other,
too.
but definitely connect with me. Send me an incoming invitation so I do connect back with you.
Yeah, you got 17 incoming invitations right now. Okay, I see you've shared the deck already as well. That's exciting.
Yes.
Alrighty. Cool. 20, wow, 32 people in it right now. All right,
Awesome.
so we had a couple of questions. I wanted to just, I think, hit the high level ones. Can you provide a brief example on LinkedIn regarding the filtering? Some things have changed, and I want to make sure we want to make sure how that this works correctly. Have things changed? Can you walk through that a little bit?
Um, I don't think anything has changed. What has changed? So tell me what has changed, and if you got a favorite company, like tell
Like
me.
titles and recruiters. Let's say I'm looking for a product manager job at Microsoft. Let's focus on Microsoft. Let's focus on Office 365 if we're going to get super specific.
Cool. So one thing I did include in the prompts, I actually highlighted it. So there's one thing in there that's highlighted in green that I didn't get to talk about, but it's called the LinkedIn Insights data. So you have to have a LinkedIn Premium account to look at LinkedIn Insights data. And if it's negative, so like Microsoft is an example of a company that's shedding people right now. So we're not targeting those people right now, targeting that company right now. You see, every department is losing people. Uh, but let's say Lunar. I do a lot of work in aerospace defense, but it's a smaller company. So if you go to Lunar, for example, oh, another bad example. It's not as bad, but like boom, supersonic. I just want to show you like the different companies. If you go to Insights, you see hiring trends. You can see the last 6 months hiring trends. There's total job openings. I do not care about this insight. These are job advertisement data, so do not look at job openings. This is misleading. You want to take a look at total employee count over the last 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. You can see you have 2 years worth of data in terms of people coming in and out, and you have employee distribution and headcount growth per function, per department. So if you're in IT, take a look at, okay, IT hasn't hired nobody in the last 6 months. They've lost 14% of the department in the last year. If you're a product manager, go to the product. Well, they don't have a product team. That's good information there. So just keep that in mind. We'll go back to Microsoft just for the sake of,
Yeah,
whatever.
so it's about searching through the employees and then finding recruiters or people who
Yeah,
are
so keep
hiring
keep
at
keep insights
Microsoft.
in mind. But
Yeah.
there's always a link here. Not people, don't go to people. This tab is useless. Always go to this link up here that shows you the total number of employees, brings you to a list like this, where you have all these filters that you can use. Go to all filters, scroll all the way down. If you want to be a product manager, a product director is likely, or head of product will likely be your hiring manager. So director of product management, for example, you see there's like 700 of them here. So yeah, too many. So if you're in the Bay Area or whatever, it's like, you know what? Okay, let me show me just people in San Francisco Bay Area. We still have 6 pages, so about 60 people. This is actually not bad. So you start from the top, you go to Sundar's profile. So the first two prompts completed. I found the right company, I found the right person. Now I'm just quickly evaluating if I see myself as a member of Sundar's team. So he's developing, executing, hardware acceleration, Azure, focusing on AI, ML, analytics, storage applications. So if you see yourself in his team, then this is the verification of, yep, I'd like to reach out to this person because I come from this background or that background. Cool. So then you scroll up, you go to connect, you click on add a note, you copy paste the invitation message, the first message from the third prompt here.
I love how we're doing this live.
You send it, you finish it. That's it. Then
Amazing.
you close it, you go to the second person. Quickly scroll down to the education, to the experience, director of product, Azure API management, developer portal, Azure developer tools. I don't care about the past experiences, doesn't matter. Low side note, if he has activities, if he has content, liking and commenting on his posts does significantly increase your chances of grabbing his attention. Here, copy paste, send, close, next person. Partner design director, lead global teams transform AI experience tools, measure AI evolving impact on the future of work. Cool product design. So he's more of a designer. He might be more of a UX type person. Don't get too persuaded. You can scroll down and try to figure out like who he is, where he comes from, but don't get so persuasive. Don't get so distracted. What did I tell you? He's more of a UX person. So you might say, you know what? Yeah, I am a UX person. That's actually what I'm looking for. So maybe I should go and maybe I should go and actually change my search criteria. Product design directors. Show me all the product design directors. Okay, now that's better. So these four product design directors in the Bay Area, you know, but it's always the same. Connect, I don't know, copy, paste, send, close. You keep putting the new title here. If you're going after the AI stuff, AI product director. Cool. We've got, maybe about 20 of them. You just go through one by one, scroll down to the experience section, AI product director, take a quick look. He has a team of 50 engineers and scientists, four direct PM reports, blah, 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 blah. That's as much as thinking I would do. He has posts, so I'm going to come here and, oh, cool, I'm going to like it. I'm going to comment it. Commenting is the most important thing. And then I'm going to come up here, connect, add a note, copy, paste my message, send, next. We do this 20 times a day, Monday to Friday. That's 100 outgoing invitations per week. 15, 20 accept. Out of the 15, 20, five respond. Half to one of them want to talk to you. So you're looking at pretty much consistently booking one interview per week on average. Some weeks is zero interview this week, two interviews next week, but like 3 to 5 interviews per month, which is a busy month, Like no one's gonna be complaining about 3 to 5 interviews per month directly with the hiring manager.
Awesome. I just asked if people thought this was helpful to type yes, and we're getting a few of them. So that's really good. All
There's
right.
only one way we do job search, and that's this. When I coach someone, we do not apply online at all. We do not do anything else. We don't go to industry events. We don't go to meetups. We sit on our asses at home under AC, drinking margaritas and doing this all day.
I love it.
Seriously, like I mean, I think I've made it very clear today that you don't even need a career coach for that part of it. The part that's really important is, again,
Can we create an N8N workflow to just do this for us so we can make
I
the
haven't
margarita?
done that yet. I
Good.
haven't, but I mean, that's maybe a 2026 process. Again, this is what I was mentioning earlier. Don't fully automate it. It's a small world. You get caught. Like, just don't do that. But content is important. So having good profile content, a professionally written, fully mapped out. I'm just picking at Sam here. Someone who has, put some content here. Again, I've written the content. Developing, I write all these posts. My clients schedule it and post it. You see, they get engagements.
Oh,
with all
nice.
these details. He has a new job. He just got hired 3 months ago. Hasn't added it on here. Again, he's supposed to send me the description, but yeah, he hasn't done it
Hey,
yet.
listen
So
to this comment. This meeting completely changed my mind about job search.
it's not as, I mean, this is literally what I posted the other day, right? I think like yesterday, to promote this event, I literally had someone, I think he's here. I don't know if he's here already, but literally this is true, like someone just asked me because I have consultations every day. Like, oh, I've applied to 300 jobs, got a bunch of auto rejections, no interviews. Is like is it that bad? I'm like, dude, it's not that. It's not. Yeah, it's bad. I'm not gonna pretend like we're living in the golden age, but it's not about the job market. It's not a job market problem. It's a strategy problem. It's not what you know. It's who you know. And as soon as you tell people that, especially the second part, they're like, oh, okay, like, so what do you mean? I'm like, this is what I mean. This is how it works. Like the competition's crazy. You gotta look for work the same way recruiters look for you. Another thing I'll share with you guys here, another graph here that I always go to. You see, I'm Googling it, so you realize I'm not coming up with the stuff. This pyramid is like the six strategic approaches to hiring people. Employers hire in this direction. First, opportunity is given to internal promotions, then to contacts from existing staff. This is referrals.
And by the way, I can confirm this.
Everybody can.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just giving you I'm just
Yeah.
giving you an internal example at my
Oh,
current
absolutely.
company. We we've had a couple people leave our product marketing team over the last couple of months, and we also had the director of product marketing leave. And you know what? We didn't even post that director position live. It was purely an internal hire. Here's the other thing. We also had another role that was open, and it was a role that we made specifically for somebody who had asked for it because they were passionate about that topic. We're going to interview anyway for it, but the person internally is going to get that role because it was kind of tailor made for them. And so a lot of companies are companies that look internally first because it's cheaper, because they already know how the whole entire system works and everything and so forth. And so just to also
Which
give
is
you another idea.
15%, right? So sometimes they're like, "Oh, aren't all
Yeah.
jobs filled internally?" I'm like, "Okay, let's
Because I
chill
want you
out
to
with the
also think about
exaggerations,
another thing,
Charlie.
right, Nader,
Like
is
it's 10, 15%.
yeah,
The first 10, 15%.
yeah,
Because like I don't want someone here to be like, "Oh yeah, well, if all the jobs are filled internally." No, the first 10, 15%. If this doesn't work, they ask for referrals. This is like
yeah,
40%. If this doesn't work, they begin networking. If this doesn't work, they begin to start paying here. Up until now, they've paid nothing, like this free.
yeah.
Then they outsource it. Then
And the
so
other thing is the person we ended up hiring who became the director was somebody who had already spent 15 to 20 years at the company. That means that instead of having to do a 3 month listening tour and figuring out all the internal systems and all the people who do A, B, C, all the way up to Z, this person can mostly hit the ground running and within just mere weeks be productive. And
mhm.
so, I say this in my presentations, and of course, Nader, I'm not here to steal any of your thunder. Got great thunder today, so all I'm here to say is that companies are hiring because they are looking to make money, save money, or innovate, or do all three at once. And they are hoping that you hit the ground running if they hire you, and that there's as little training as possible, and that if you need training, you close that gap on your own time. And if you cannot be those two things, then you become incredibly difficult to hire. And that's just how the world is these days. I hate it. Nader, you probably hate it, but truth hurts, man.
Truth does hurt. I do hate it.
Yeah.
You know, it's also it's why I've had a job up until now. It's going away soon.
Yeah,
because as soon as yeah, we talked about this before, as soon as AI starts to do all the hiring and like the position, the role of a recruiter gets eliminated, then you don't need to apply. Opportunities will appear at your inbox automatically.
yeah.
It is does sound utopic, but that is what's going to happen. One thing,
And besides, right,
you
if
should
you're
be happy for that.
technical, if you're a software engineer and you have recruiters reaching out to you every day for with asking if you know how to code in some language or asking if you know a framework that they can't even explain and you're tired of explaining it to those people, and AI won't have to explain it to you, and AI will just know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
AI
that's the
knows the
world that we're
difference
moving towards, and
between,
we just have to accept it before. Remember,
yeah,
I mean, I was talking about the design thinking process. Maybe it's a good time to kind of do a refresher. Design thinking process. Step number one of the design thinking process is it's called empathize, but it's actually to accept, to understand and accept before you make any changes. You have to just understand and accept. You have to do your research and just understand what needs to be done. If you just understand and accept what's happening right now, then you can design a solution for it. So this is why you guys are trying to design a better way to look for a job. First, you have to understand and accept how the job market operates, which is why I came in today and say, you know what? I know I'm going to be speaking fast today, but I better cover this context because whenever people still come back to me confused, I'm like, okay, let me just go back to the beginning, right? So it's like I don't like I've been talking about this stuff for 15 years. So again, trust me, like it's tiring for me. I'm not excited talking about this stuff, but I'm excited for you because as soon as you understand the direction employers go to like to follow to hire, and if I were to add a word here, I would say unfortunately. Like this is reality. People look for work in this direction, but unfortunately, people look for work in this direction. Just follow the same footsteps. The only thing you cannot do is internal hires. So just start from here. Get referrals. Network, get referrals. Network, get referrals. Just those two. If you just do those two, and that's all we do. That's all my coaching has been about for the last 15 years. We don't do nothing else.
Casey asks, then again, how do we approach the hidden job market? Is this something we have to pay for? Um, yeah, I would say not necessarily.
That means you weren't listening, my friend. That means you're having too many margaritas today.
Nader just spent 97 minutes on this.
Like we just literally explained it for the last 97 minutes. You
Yeah.
must have gone to the bathroom for too long.
All right. Well, wonderful. Um, any other questions from anybody else? Is it pretty clear what you should be doing and how you can do it?
Was that for me?
Let's
Okay.
see. Martin asks, what about how do you sell a career break to somebody?
Um, it's not about the break, it's about what you did and what you learned from that experience.
Yep.
What is your break? What is the career break? What did you do?
I went surfing in Bora Bora. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, exactly.
Travel
Do I need
relocation. So where did you
travel?
travel? Where did you relocate? Why did you relocate? What did you learn from that experience? What compromises did you have to make? Like, you know what I mean? So like, it becomes a conversation. That's the conversation I'd like to take on a consultation call. That's what a career fast track call would be about. But it's not, you cannot just go and say, well, I traveled and then I relocated.
Yeah,
Well, like,
there must be
cool.
purpose behind it.
It's like I don't know what was the purpose? What compromise did you have to make? Like how are you stronger or better today post travel, post relocation? How are you a better leader? Did you have to take your family through it? Did you have to relocate your two kids? Did you guys have to take him out of their favorite school and put him into another school in a remote area that they're not interested in? How many nights did you lose? How many sleepless nights did you have? What changes did you have to make? How has your lifestyle changed? What did you do instead? There's so much that becomes it's not necessarily a life coaching conversation, but it's a life conversation that you have to have. Like you have to authentically, clearly, authentically, confidently tell that story, you know, and what you came, what, uh, how you came out of that story, out of that challenge. Because it's not about the break. Companies don't give a shit that you have a break. It's like, how are you better for it? How are you better because of it? Because they want the better version of you. They don't want the sad, wounded, deflated version of you. If you make it sound like you had to make a compromise, and your kids are upset and your wife's nagging, like, job market's crap, like most people present it that way. I'm,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just trying to be a little funny here, you know what I mean? But it's all about that, It's like you want to kind of like borrow a little bit of Jocko Willink spirit, you want to put your best foot forward, you want to come across as a warrior, you want to come across as someone who made a compromise, who did what he or she had to do, and would do it again if you had to. He's someone who learned how to make tough decisions without putting their head down. Like you want to tell a story and give people goosebumps, man. That's what I would coach you on. I have a lot of good questions here, so like what is the yeah, Martin, book that call with me, man. I'm happy to talk. That like that's a becomes a personal, deep, personal, maybe uncomfortable conversation. Book that call with me. Like there's a lot of good questions here, what's the next step if a person responds in the outreach, what topic should I talk about next? Yeah, book a call with me so we can pick it up, in a one-on-one, or, like there's so many good questions here, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of thoughts for sure, and yeah, let's drop in your link again here, and yeah, let's talk to Nader and so forth. So, um, Nader, thank you so much for spending about 100 minutes with us here. This is always so valuable. We'll be doing this again in January. Nader might have new insights for you, so please join us for that. Um, and Nader, any final thoughts since this is the last time you and I might see each other on Zoom in 2025 here before the holidays? I am grateful. Albert's List is grateful that you've donated so much of your time for us for so much of this valuable content. So anything to take us out into the holidays and into the new year from here.
I don't know. Thanksgiving's around the corner, man. I'm getting ready to reach out to my coaches. I have a list of my coaches. It's a page long. It's just like I'm in this spirit of I'm in the mood to share my gratitude with everyone. So I would thank you first and foremost for giving me so many opportunities this year. Looking for, building our partnership over next year and another 4 years before I go and hang out with my chickens and goats.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was just gonna also say, like, can people network at their Thanksgiving, dinner tables in a couple weeks? Should people be networking? Pass the mashed potatoes and let me tell you about my resume.
Well, yeah, as long as you don't talk about your resume, right? Again, don't talk. I'll leave you with this. I answer your question. Don't talk about yourself. Talk about the problems you solve. You've
Yeah.
heard me say that again. I always say it. I've learned it from others. Don't talk about yourself. Talk about the problems yourself. People don't care about you. But if you talk about the problems you solve, now you're becoming more magnetic. Now
Mm.
you sound like someone who's passionate about the overcoming of issues, problems, challenges, obstacles out there in the world. Whether you're a software engineer or a material scientist or you're a marketing manager or you're a coach or no matter what you do, you solve problems out in the market, out in the economy. Talk about that, make a list of go ask ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, this is who I am, this is my resume. Tell me about the top three problems that someone like me solves. During Thanksgiving dinner while eating turkey, I want to talk about the problems that I solve and how should I go about it. Just passionately talk about the problems that you solve. You almost want to sound like a politician. And New York has a new mayor. Look at his speech, right? Crazy. Anyways,
My name is Nader, and I approve this message.
there you go.
And with that, we want to thank everyone for spending their time today with us. Your time is also appreciated, especially for those of you who have stayed to the end. If you have additional questions, please reach out to Nader And please apply his lessons today and report back on your feedback, either to Nader or to me. We want to know how successful you are and what kind of opportunities you're getting out of it. So with that said, I want to also say that we have a lot more events coming up, a lot more AI-driven events, including our side hustle workshop on Monday. Be sure to look out for those and explore what we have to offer. And we look forward to serving you again soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. And good luck on everything. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.